We're still on the celebration of women around the world today. Let's look at the public sector and see one woman who has been there for a while sharing her experience with us, and that's the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, that's NIDCOM, Mrs. Abike Dabiri. Mrs. Dabiri, I must say congratulations. First of all, happy... Okay, Mrs. Dabiri, happy International Women's Day. I think that's a good place to start. I know you said you'll be at an event, so of course, celebrating the women, but welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm still at the event, and let me get a good background. So, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
So, we're actually at an event with the professional women here in Native, and the talk is about inclusion of women as we mark the International Women's Day. So we're sharing experiences, talking about with one another, and that's it. So,
all right. So, I mean, let's talk from your perspective. You have been in the public sector for a bit. This morning, we saw that the Group Managing Director of JAM PLC in the private sector. You are in the public sector, and they say politics is a dirty game, but you've been surviving in the waters of politics for years now. Share with us, as a woman, your experience being involved in politics in Nigeria.
Like the story I just told here at this forum with women, when I was going to go into politics, it was like, no, I can't. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. But I'd gone to Harvard University. I'd gone for this course in leadership in the developing economy, and I came back challenged to see what I could do. So in going into it, first thing was to go to my constituency, met the various groups, and I made up my mind that it was something I was going to do. But here's the thing. If you are dirty, you play dirty. So if you are dirty, you play dirty. Life itself is tough. Journalism is tough. Banking is tough. Any profession is tough. How do you, as a person, conduct yourself? How do you, as a person, carry on? Look, I know that, there are a lot of things, late-night meetings is bill dominated, but you got to do what you got to do with dignity, with integrity, with respect, with compassion, and the fear of God. But one thing is missing, which I will say categorically, that there's no compassion in political space today. So there should be compassion in what we all do, and it's about the people, and making a difference in their life. So it's everything could be dirty. Your job there will be dirty. There's politics everywhere. But how do you conduct yourself? But most importantly is that as we mark International Women's Day, women need to get together, be united, make a difference. We're agents of change. Let's be determined that we can make that change. We can make the difference. We have the numbers, but how do we get united? It's a big challenge. So no matter how difficult things are, let's learn to overcome those challenges and be ready to make a difference wherever we find ourselves.
Yeah, that's a point you brought up. Women being united sounds like a sensitive chord because, there's a notion that women do not like supporting women. I wonder if that has changed, because if we're asking the world to celebrate us, we should first be able to celebrate and support ourselves before we ask, for others to do the same.
Yeah, when you say it has changed, I think it's just a perception. For instance, I'm doing this interview because a woman is asking me to do it. Not that it's convenient for me. But as a woman, you have asked me to do something. Number one is that you think I'm qualified. Two is, a fellow woman is asking me. Let me do everything to, make her also successful in her own profession. So it depends on what you're talking about. I think it's still a perception. I'm with a group of women here. When I got into politics in my constituency, the first set of people that supported me were the women. So it depends on the level that you're talking about. But I think what we need to do as women is have more conversations around this topic, gather ourselves together. And then I believe that if you put yourself forward as a woman and you have all the qualities and criteria, you get the kind of support that you're looking for. I don't think that you should support me just because I'm a woman, but support me because I'm qualified, I'm competent. So when we bring women forward, let's bring out the very best of us as women. That is also one thing. And then when we say the political space, that man is not going to leave that space for you. You know, you have to walk in qualified, competent. So first is we putting our best foot forward as women, and then two is we must have those conversations about being united. We must have those conversations about saying that, you know what binds us together is deeper than what separates us as women. So we keep having that conversation and hopefully we'll get there. But I believe that if today, we have the kind of woman we want, qualified, competent, and wants a particular position, I think we're in the state where women will support. And we all have to get together and talk to one another and have those conversations as we're doing now on your program.
Yes, of course. So looking at the theme today, invest in women to accelerate progress, what sort of investment do you think we should be talking about at this time in Nigeria?
Sorry, I lost you for 30 seconds.
Okay, so I'm talking about the theme, invest in women. When we look at the Nigerian terrain, what areas of investment should we be talking about for women at this time?
Okay, economic empowerment is very important. It starts with economic empowerment. What can you do if you don't have any money in your pocket? What can you do if you're not economically empowered? So we should stop paying lip service to economic empowerment of women. As that today, women still remain the poorest in the world. It's been so, when I was even a journalist reporting, the statistics are even worse now. Women still remain the poorest in the world. So we need to invest in women. And we also know that investing in women, they do not disappoint you. If you give a woman, no matter how small, they work with it, they make returns, and they prosper with it. And we should stop paying lip service to that adage that educate a woman, you educate the world. Let us also ensure that our girls are educated. There are still areas where girls don't go to school. Then let's look at culturally too. There are still cultures that let you know that, oh, you are just a woman. You can't do ABCD. We have to stop all that. And it means, having more conversations as I said around that. And then political empowerment. And when I say political empowerment, look at the parliament. Well, they're worse off now in terms of numbers. When I was in parliament, we were 27. Today, I doubt if they're even up to 12. Same thing with the Senate. We used to have female deputy governors. How many do we have now? State House of Assembly, how many women do we have? So it starts with the political parties. Political parties have to be intentional about political empowerment of women. And there are women, and the women themselves too should come out. A lot of women sit back and say, oh, it's dirty. I'm afraid. You can't be afraid. You have to have the courage, if it is in you, to do what you got to do. Women are mothers. We're achievers. We're agents of change. And, as we mark International Women's Day, not just a day to just celebrate, but a day to throw those challenges at ourselves and see what more we can do better. So a lot of empowerment, economic, political, culturally, we need every empowerment. Political parties need to do a lot more. Every political party in Nigeria is not being sincere with women in Nigeria today, and that is the fact of the matter.
So, Mrs. Dabiri, I want to find out from you. Thank God you used to be a journalist. When it comes to getting women to talk to you, even if you were just conducting a vox pop on the road, or you want to get women on TV, it's like 2 times more difficult. Was it like that in your time?
Sorry, I lost you, but I think I got what you're saying.
I can repeat.
Look,
I can repeat. Okay.
Okay, repeat it.
Okay, so I was asking because, now, if you want to get vox pop out on the street or you want to get an executive career woman on air, and that's why if you look, of course, you know that. You look at television station, mostly it's men that you have. Was it that way your time, or is it getting easier or more difficult for us now?
No, my time. You go to women, they run away. Even when I was in parliament, when I was chairman of the House Committee on Media, I get media to go and talk to some of our women. They'll say, no, I don't want to talk. It was that way in my time. So I should be asking you whether it is still that way in your time. And that's why I use the word courage. We must, as women, have the courage to speak out, have the courage to do what we have to do. Nobody should stop us but ourselves. So let's stop us. When I went into politics, it was tough. It is still tough. But I had the courage to say, I want to do this. And I also had the courage to know when I was not going to contest anymore. After 12 years, I said, I wasn't going to contest in parliament anymore. It took courage to take that decision. So courage is very key. So as we have these conversations, let's encourage women to be courageous, to take the decisions that we have to take. But also, most importantly, courage with family. Family first. We are mothers. We raise children. We have to place emphasis on the kind of children that we're raising, the kind of moral values that we're imparting on our children. Because without the right moral values, we'll have a totally lost society. So that is also very important as we talk about empowerment and as we talk about Women's Day. Let's raise our children properly, impart the right moral values in them, and build a better society. It's still our responsibility to build our society.
All right, Mrs. Abike Dabiri, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the event.